Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out with me tonight. I am Danny. We are Team 696. We've been doing a series called the Don't Live Like series, where we try to look at certain people and their life. Usually it's celebrities. Look at their life, what they're doing, what they have been doing in their career, and how some of the things that they've been doing have really hurt them, and maybe some things we can learn from what they've done to try to understand how we can actually learn from these situations, and maybe also have had some ideas brought to the forefront of ways that maybe they could shift things a little bit and be way more successful and do a lot of good in the world. Some of the people we've talked about have amazingly huge platforms on social media. We're talking about people that reach millions, tens of millions of people, and so we've been just going through kind of talking about some of that stuff. So this week we're going to take a little break from the Don't Live Like series, and we're going to talk about something that has been kind of weighing heavily on my mind, and that is artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is becoming something that all of us are using, whether we realize it or not. Anytime you search online now, anytime you look something up on the internet, you are using some form of artificial intelligence. Okay, there's always, no matter what it is, they have incorporated some form of artificial intelligence. Now, there are people who are, people who are from universities, who have these amazing educations that can go through all the nuances of why it may be dangerous, why, it could possibly create World War III, and how the machines could get out of control, become sentient, and all that stuff. That's very true. I firmly believe when you have the people that are out here in the forefront of AI technology saying, hey, we're even afraid, this is, put in the wrong hands and developed in the wrong way, this could really bring about some dire consequences globally. We're not talking about just little things like what I'm going to be talking to you guys about tonight. But while researching some of this stuff, the one thing that I noticed is there really aren't any great videos that I could find that break down some of the negatives that are here and now, right now, and some things that I've actively seen happening because of AI that I feel that we should at least be aware of and at least understand what is going on. So without further ado, let me get into this. One thing that I've seen a lot that I absolutely cannot stand, and it's mostly on YouTube because I'm on YouTube. Not only do I have a channel, but I am a huge YouTube file. I've been for years. I really enjoy the platform. I love the fact that basically anything that you want to do, if you want to learn how to fix something on your car, or if you want to learn how to fix something on your boat or your motorcycle or in your home, you can basically go on YouTube, find a video, somebody has done it, somebody's had the problem, somebody's fixed the problem, and they've recorded it, and you can follow along. And there's so much to be learned. There's such good that comes from this platform. That's why I'm so proud to be a part of YouTube, and so proud to just be a part of this platform. All right, but more and more, I am seeing these videos pop up that I refer to as AI word salad videos. There are these videos that are obviously an AI voice. They are an AI script. Somebody has typed in a bunch of keywords or a bunch of cliff notes or a bunch of bullet points, if you will, and basically just pressed enter and let the AI technology take over. And again, I call them word salad videos. These are videos that when I come across one, usually it doesn't take long. It takes maybe a few couple of minutes to 5 minutes at the most, a few minutes at the most, till you start to realize, oh, this is what it is. It's not real information. It's just... So when I say word salad, what I mean is these are videos that maybe they're 10 minutes long, maybe they're 20 minutes long, but in reality, they never get to the point. Some of them, most of them, never get to the actual point. If they do it in like hundreds, if not thousands of words more than necessary to get to that point. And most of them don't get to that point. And I find it highly frustrating. And I think that creators that are doing this type of video creation, I just think it's laziness. I think it's something that we should not support at all. I think that it takes the soul out of your production. You know, there's no soul when you have a computer voice reading a computer generated script that is taking basically a script that could be maybe 1,000 words and making it into 5,000 or 10,000 words just to drag out a video. And a lot of the times, another thing that I see with these type of videos is that they will show a lot of pictures that have nothing to do with what the person is talking about. Or they'll talk about an event and the pictures don't line up. They'll make a certain statement about something, they show a picture, and the picture doesn't correlate at all. And I find them to be highly frustrating. And I find it to be frustrating also because of the fact that a lot of young people are watching YouTube. A lot of kids are coming up on YouTube, and they are searching things and believing whatever these videos are presenting them. I think that's highly dangerous. The other thing, AI is already rewriting history and misrepresenting recent events. All right, I've started to notice this more and more. So I'm old. I was around for a lot of things a long time ago. I was around for 9/11. Okay, I was around for the Iraq War in the early 90s. I was around for many different things. The Boston Marathon bombing back in 2013. I live in Boston. I was right there. I was literally within miles. In fact, this is crazy, but a guy that I worked with picked the 4 people up, the 4 pilots that were the ones that flew out of Logan Airport and crashed the planes into the buildings. One went obviously across, and then they were headed back to the Capitol. I think it was United Flight 95, I think, or 90 or something. I think it was 95. Anyways, those 4 pilots, a friend of mine in the transportation business picked those guys up and brought them to the airport on the day that happened. And I also know of someone else who drove them at other times when they were taking flight lessons. I know another person who had at least driven, what was his name, Muhammad Atta, at least once, if not more than once. So I've been around, I'm old enough, I've been around for a lot of recent history events. And more, I noticed that when you go to look up something about them, and you look it up through a search engine that uses AI assimilation, or uses AI to basically as an enhancement to enhance the search. They will show pictures. They will show AI, artificial intelligence generated pictures that I've seen pictures of the actual events, the actual people, the actual places, the actual events that happened, the actual cars that were involved, the planes that were involved, and when you go to search it, they show you an AI enhanced version of those pictures or the people, and it's not even close to the reality of what the real situation was. So already, forget all the World War III, forget all the stuff that, yes, the world, if this thing gets out of control, we can kiss everything. We can kiss the whole planet goodbye. Aside from that, just in the here and now, it is spreading so much misinformation, and it is revising history in a way that young people that weren't there, that don't know, that didn't go through it, are seeing representations, are hearing representations that are nothing like the true and actual events. That scares the crap out of me. All right? AI is programmed. I wrote some notes here. I'm not reading stuff that I got off of Wikipedia or a website or something else. These are just some notes that I wrote down. AI is programmed by Silicon Valley elites and is heavily biased. Okay? So when you use something like ChatGPT or another program that is AI enhanced or AI engineered, it is going to be biased information. All right? So Silicon Valley elites, heavily biased information. When you type a question into ChatGPT or any other system like that, the answer you get back will be tainted with elitist propaganda more so than ever before. That is 100% true. And that's another thing that I feel is very dangerous about this whole situation, is these people who are creating these programs are putting in a bias. They are injecting a bias into these programs so that they'll take a sprinkle of truth, which every lie has a sprinkle of truth, right? We know that. No lie is ever just a lie. There's always a little sprinkle of truth in there. There has to be. That's the only way anybody would ever believe a lie, is if it had a little bit of truth in it. So these programs are being designed and brought to fruition under the auspices of heavily biased information. That's another thing that I think is really scary about all this stuff. I think it's stuff that we have to really think about and be aware of. Okay. The other thing I would say, AI is not being programmed for the good of the masses, i.e., you and me. All right. It is being designed to confuse and confound the masses, i.e., you and me, into believing revised history and ongoing propaganda. This is being done, these biases that are being created, the bias is toward a select few. Okay, this is not for the good of the masses. This is not for the good of all of us. This is not something where all of these very wealthy, influential Silicon Valley, on the edge of technology types, they are not designing this stuff to make sure that you and I have a great life. All right, just go ahead and look in other areas of life. Look at, take a look at Bill Gates. Okay, Bill Gates. He's one of the biggest philanthropists to walk the planet. He gives hundreds of millions of dollars, if not billions of dollars, to all these different humanitarian organizations. And yet, if you really go digging into him and his friends and the people that he associates with and what they're about depopulation of the human race. And they have actual plans for depopulation. These people are not out, they're not good people. They're not out trying to help you and me live better lives. They're trying to find out ways that a select few at the very top can live the best life possible at the expense of you and I, at the expense of the average everyday fool. AI is used to spy on us every single day in more ways than we could possibly imagine. AI is used to spy on us using social media accounts. They're gathering data through our cell phones. They're gathering data through like Ring cameras. The camera that you have on your door that somebody hits ding dong and then it sends a signal to your phone. You can look at the camera and see who it is and all that stuff. All that's being recorded. They know how many packages you get a week from UPS. They know how many packages you get a week from DHL. They know exactly what they can actually predict your spending habits because of all this data collection that has been going on and has been going on for a long time. Okay, this is nothing new. I'm not like groundbreaking. Holy crap! This just started out. It just started yesterday. I'm not breaking any ground barriers here. Okay, this is just. I'm just trying to kind of let you guys, just soak it all in. That you already know a lot of this stuff is going on. And you know that it's going on from people that don't have your best interest in mind. So just be mindful of it. Be aware of it. All right? They know your online activities. They know your purchasing information. They know your purchasing history. And many, many, many ways that we don't even know the stuff that they're collecting on us. Okay? And this is just personal stuff. But it's all about, look at China with their social credit system that they have. And believe me, that is what they're trying to do here as well. They're trying to institute a social credit system here. It's not far off from happening. I hope it is. I hope I'm totally wrong by a lot of the things that I say, but I don't think so. And in that social credit system, I'm going to tell a story really quick. There was a Chinese guy. I wish I could remember his name. I didn't plan on telling this story for the video, so I don't know his name. But there's a Chinese guy who was a very accomplished mixed martial artist. And he decided that he was going to, this is in the last, I think he's still fighting to be able to still get his message across. He's still a young guy. So this guy decided that he was going to go against all the Chinese fighting systems that were based on they were based on beliefs more than actual results. Okay? Like Tai Chi and how you can use chi to push an opponent away and knock him to the ground. You never have to touch him. You could kill a person without touching them just by using your chi powers and everything. So this guy was very well trained in all these different martial arts, jiu-jitsu, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, and grappling, and all these things, and kickboxing and boxing. And he decided he's going to challenge all of these great Tai Chi masters and Tang Sudo guys and all these guys that rely on this woo-woo stuff, right? Well, he started beating the crap out of them. So China stepped in, the government stepped in. They lowered his social credit score to the point the guy couldn't. To this day, I don't know exactly where things are because I don't follow his every move, but I believe to this day he is not allowed to own a home. He's not even allowed to rent a home. He's not allowed on a high-speed train. If he travels, he has to travel by the old rickety trains, and that's it. He's not allowed to fly. This is a guy who has gone all over the world, and he's one of the top fighters in the world. And the country of China, his country, has said, you cannot fly. They have lowered his social credit score to a point that he's not even allowed to, like, the guy's been on, here he is, one of the toughest guys in the world. He has fought and defeated some of the quote-unquote toughest people, or the big, the chi masters of the ancient fighting techniques, these martial artists, these martial arts masters. He has beat these guys. He is a tough guy. There's videos of him crying, bawling his eyes out, because they lowered his social credit score so low to the fact that he can barely exist. He can barely buy and sell food because he's so low on the social credit score. All right, I'm going to get to a couple of more things, and then I'm going to pretty much close it out. But I'm going to leave in a couple of positive notes. I'm going to get to a couple more things that are not great, but I'm going to leave on a positive note at the end, and we're going to try not to make this a total a complete downer session for everything, because there's a lot of really tough stuff here that I've been talking about. And if you go and research some of it yourself, you're going to see that I'm not really sugarcoating it, but I'm not delving into every little deep pothole that you can get into by going down the rabbit hole, as it were. So another thing that scares the shit out of me, if you guys look up AI robot soldiers, they have them, they're developing them. They were showing videos a few years ago, Boston Dynamics. They had robots that could dance. They had robots that could, do a front flip, back flip. They could do a front flip onto a table, do a back flip off of a table, and vice versa and everything. They have them now that they can fire all different types of weapons. These robots, these humanoid-looking robots, they can run uphill, downhill. They can run on. They can run from rocks. They can jump from rocks to rocks to rocks. They are making armies of these things. They are developing entire armies. I don't know the numbers. I have no idea. But I guarantee you they have thousands, if not tens of thousands of these things. Okay? And they have rescue robots that can go into a situation and they can grab a person's arm. Let's say a person is laying on the ground. They could grab the arm and instantly get their pulse, their heart rate, they can tell if they're alive or not, obviously, and send all that information back to a central base or central spot, to a central command center. So that's great, and they always want to make this about, oh, look how great this is. We can go into firefight. We can grab somebody off the ground. We can get their vitals. We can drag them back to safety, treat them, all this stuff. And that is great, okay? But what if it goes the other way? What if these robots are programmed to kill? And when they grab onto a person's arm and they sense life, they're already pre-programmed to take the life out of that, to make sure that they attack until there is no life left. And the idea of thousands of these humanoid robots that can do this is not science fiction, people. This is proven technology. Okay, all it takes is this technology being used in the wrong hands for the wrong reasons. And it is complete reality. It could happen today. And also the other thing, you got to understand, what we know about the military is always about 30 years behind. We never know. They could say to us tomorrow, oh, this is a brand new technology, we're just developing it. Total bullshit. Not happening. If they're telling you it's a brand new technology, they've had it for 30 years and they've already developed it, used it, and decided whether it can work or not work. All right, and by the time you and I find out about it, it's probably, if it works, they've already been using it for decades by the time you and I find out about something like that. So that scares the shit out of me. Also, the dogs, you know, they have these robotic canines. Same thing. They can do the same thing with them. They can put on different attachments where they could grab onto somebody, or they could grab on with like a mouth attachment, and through that mouth attachment, or through the attachment in one of their, you know, their robot paws, they can sense life. They can, again, they can collect, you know, vitals and everything else, which of course can be used for good. But the idea of 1,000 of these robot canines out there, if they're being programmed for a nefarious purpose, is absolutely terrifying. Don't forget, robots don't feel pain. So it's as terrifying as it is to have armed soldiers or dogs with body armor on and everything else, real dogs, real soldiers with guns. How much more terrifying is it to have entities doing the same thing with weapons that are programmed how to use them, and maybe programmed to fight to the death, to kill, and they don't feel any pain? You could kick, you could punch, you could shoot these things a bunch of times, and as long as you don't hit the most vital of parts, these things are just going to keep working and working and working and working until you're wiped out. Another thing, this is the last negative thing, and then I'm going to get on to a couple of positive things and we're going to close out. Another negative that I feel is going on with the whole AI thing is the news. I think we have to be so careful about what we believe in the news and what we believe in the political forum, in political forums, and in government forums, okay? Deep fakes. Deep fakes have been around for so long where you can literally make anybody do or say anything. Look at the Pope in his big puffy white coat. Everybody saw that picture. If you didn't, go look it up. Pope in a puffy white coat, and it shows the Pope in like a big puffy, almost like one of those down jackets, like one of those big puffy down jackets. It shows the Pope chilling in one of those jackets. Obviously, this is AI, okay? But they can do that with anybody. And they can use their voices, they can use their likenesses, they can put them in any type of clothing, any type of situation. If they don't like the person, they can put them in a compromising situation. If they like the person, they can put them in a good situation, showing them doing something they never did, like helping children or helping the homeless or whatever. So deep fakes are a thing. And also, we have, in the last few years, how many times have we watched a news story unfold where the official narrative was not at all how things were actually going? Okay, a few things I can think of: Hurricane Helene in the Carolinas. When the official news stories that were being promoted and reported on were not even close to reality. Okay, I remember I reported on a story from Hurricane Helene for this couple that was in the mountains, and the local government actually told this helicopter pilot, if you go up there and you grab these people from the top of the mountain where there's this huge mudslide, their house was gone, their whole property gone, and they were just sitting there like on one corner of their driveway where there was still a slab left, and they were standing there, and he brought one person down. I think he brought the son down, and the husband and the wife were still there, or maybe he brought the wife. I'm not sure. It doesn't matter. But he brought one down, and then he was going back up to get the other ones because he was worried about the weight in the helicopter. And the local government, the local police chief, fire chief, I think it was the fire chief, the local government said, if you go up there, we're pulling your FAA license and you will not fly a helicopter anymore. All right, that story got kind of, it didn't get totally hidden, but it definitely got pushed to the back burner. The Hawaii fires that happened, all the fires in Hawaii, where interestingly, you had all these celebrities after the fires happened, all these very, very rich celebrities, including Oprah, bought up a lot of the property after it was damaged. And then it's come out that they're building these huge underground bunkers in Hawaii on this burnt out property, on this burnt out land that they got for probably pennies on the dollar compared to what it was worth. So there's a lot of really negative. And I have not even gotten into how AI can become sentient or in the wrong hands, or hackers can go in and we could have a perfectly well-designed, well-meaning program for AI that's supposed to help a lot of people, and hackers go in and, you know, they either take some safeguards off and make it so it's effectively sentient to a point where we can't even shut down our own computer programs. Okay, that's not my forte. I'm not a doctor. I'm not some physicist. I'm not a technology expert. Okay, I don't know how all that stuff works. So I'm just trying to come at you as a regular guy who has some concerns, who wants to bring it to you. But I also want to give you some decent news at the end here. I want to tie this in. Okay, there are some things we can do. So you might look at it and go, hey, well, what can I do then? This is everything you just said for the last 30 minutes is all doom and gloom. Well, I say support content creators online, big and small. Doesn't matter how big they are or how small they are. Support content creators online who do not rely heavily on AI to produce their content. All right? Support people that are real people, that speak from their heart, that speak from love, of fellow mankind, from a perspective of caring, a perspective of wanting to help people, a perspective of good morals and good ethics. Support those people. All right? Let's get these word salad AI idiots off the platform. Don't even watch them. Don't even give them any sort of... Don't even pay them any mind. If you see a word salad, if you click on something, it might be a topic that you really enjoy or whatever, and you realize that it's one of these AI word salad things, click off. Get off of it. By the way, if you like the video, if you like anything, or if you appreciate anything I said, please please subscribe. Make sure you share it with as many people as you can. Let's get the word out there. Second reminder, make sure you like the video. If you don't want to subscribe, I understand. Please subscribe, but if you don't, I get it. At least like the video. It doesn't cost you anything. And to that point, dislike some of these videos. These word salad, these AI generated videos, these videos where it's just somebody that has a big audience and they decide, okay, I'm just going to go the AI route. I'm just going to click a few buttons, do this, and just cash grab the shit out of this whole situation. You know what? Dislike the crap out of those videos and don't watch them. Don't support them. That's one way you can help. All right? The other thing is, when it comes to news stories, when it comes to things in the news, natural disasters, big news stories, things like that, hurricanes, storms, verify the information, all right, with real people that have boots on the ground. Find creators that are real creators, that speak from the heart, that speak truth, and are in that area, that have boots on the ground, or friends with boots on the ground, and find out the real story. How many things did we find out about Hurricane Helene and the Hawaii fires and everything else? How many times did we find out that people that were there or involved with people that were there had a totally different narrative than the mainstream narrative that was coming through on the news? You know what? The news is so fake nowadays. I remember back when the sickness that cannot be named for whatever reason in 2020 came out. They were showing pictures of a medical ward and saying that it was patients with the sickness that can't be named, and come to find out it wasn't even real people in the beds. It was just dummies, and it was a room that was set up for a training exercise in Italy for something completely different, and that training exercise was from a year earlier. And the mainstream news here in America was running it like it was current news in 2020. So don't trust the mainstream narrative. There's been so many reasons, there's been so many times that it has been proven that you just can't trust it. There's too many agendas going on that truth just does not get out. Also, make sure you verify information with books. Anything in history, recent history, history going as far back as you want to, really. Make sure you verify it with real books. And fight to keep real books alive, because the more that we get rid of books and the more that everything is just online and artificially generated, the more history is going to be, the waters are going to be muddied. History is not going to be real. History is going to be revised to a point that we won't even know what's real or what's not. Folks, I'm going to leave you that for tonight. I am Danny. We are Team 696. Please like, subscribe, share this video with as many people as you can. This is not at all to scare people. I just want you guys to think. I want people to think and to really try to do things to protect yourself and protect your kids, your family, people around you. I think things are going to get ugly at times, and I think we need to be prepared for that. And the best way we can prepare is to be knowledgeable. All right, if you want to check out my TikTok, I'm at Team 696, 696 on TikTok. If you want to support the channel, I would be more than willing to accept any support I can get. This is a shoestring operation, budget-wise, and I am $ Team 696, 696 on Cashapp. So Steam 696, 696 on Cashapp, and it's right in the. If I said it wrong or if you didn't understand what I said, it's if I wasn't clear, it's going to be right in the description. And I just thank you guys so much for stopping by. My Twitter X page is also at Team 696, 696 on Twitter or X. I haven't been doing a lot of posting on there lately, but I do have over 400 posts. Basically, I just post the coolest stuff that I find on the internet when I'm doing my when I'm going in doing my research for things throughout the week. But excuse me, I just bit my tongue really bad. If I see something really cool, what I'll do is I'll just shoot it over to X and I'll post it over there. So I have over 400 posts over there, and a lot of them are just really, really cool stuff. I try to only post the best of the best that I can. All right. You guys have a great night. I love you. Take care. Peace.